up, everybody? This week we're going to be making Lloyd from the new Lego Ninjago movie. My name is Lori and you're watching The Icing Artist. To make this cake, I baked an 8-inch round cake and a half sphere cake. I have already carved off the caramelization and leveled them off so that way I can layer them up with some delicious buttercream icing. Of course, guys, for all the recipes, as usual, I will be leaving those in the description box below. Layer upon layer upon layer. Now that it's stacked up, it's time to carve it, and thankfully this cake is pretty easy to carve. The only thing I need to carve is that little Lego nub that's on top. You know, the thing that's on top of a Lego figure's head that you put other things on top of, and it clicks? We're gonna carve it. Now that that's carved, it's time to give it a nice and thin crumb coat, just locking in all of those crumbs. And once I'm done with that, I'm gonna give it a nice thicker coat of icing. I always like to make my icing a little bit more on the dense side when I'm covering a cake with fondant because it just holds everything tight. I'm pretty excited to see the Lego Ninjago movie. I mean, the Lego movie was really funny. I really enjoyed that one. So fingers crossed that this one's gonna be good too. Especially because, you know, we're making a cake for it. The movie does well. No one's gonna watch this video. Now to cover this cake, I'm actually gonna have to do it in like 5 different sections. I lied, 6 different sections. Come on, Lloyd. So the first section, we're gonna roll out some black fondant. I actually used a circle cutter so I could drape that right on top of it. Since, you know, it's fondant and it likes to stretch out and do weird things, I just used my knife to like really finish up that line. For the second piece of fondant, we're gonna do the Lego man's face. So I rolled out some yellow fondant and just cut that into a large rectangle and then kind of draped it onto my cake, making sure I butt up the yellow part with the black part so they're, you know, flush, and then smooth that out. All right, for Lloyd's like face mask thing, the thing that's covering his mouth, I rolled out a really thick piece of black fondant. I did this so I could actually make some grooves in it, and because it's supposed to look like layered. I then just used a pizza cutter to kind of carve it into a shape where it kind of comes up in the middle. Carefully wrap that around my cake, and now I'm gonna use my balling tool to make those fold lines. It's kind of like if there was fold lines in a fabric, except this is plastic, so they're like hard fold lines. I tried to be careful. I didn't push in the balling tool too much though, because if you push in too much, you're gonna get all those cracks with the fondant. So again, you know, fondant's fun like that. All right, the next 2 pieces are gonna be going around his face, which was a very, very tricky shape to get. So I actually made myself a little template, just kind of seeing where I want it to cover up around the face. And then cut that out and very, very carefully put that on the cake, making sure it butt up with the top piece and the bottom piece. Again, just use my balling tool to create more of those fold lines going around. I did them kind of randomly, so that way it wasn't just like one continual line, you know, natural Lego fold lines. And for Lloyd's green ninja bandana, I wrote some thick green fondant and then used my multi-pizza cutter to cut out a long strip. I just wrapped that around my cake, and there's a bunch of seams going on at the back of the cake, but thankfully we're gonna be covering that up because this ninja bandana is gonna be like tied into a Lego knot. For the knot piece of it, I just kind of cut out a random shape and then folded it in as if, you know, the knot was folded. Now that all 6 pieces of our fondant are wrapped around our cake, we're gonna make his face. I just rolled out some greeny blue fondant and cut out his eyes. His one eye is kind of like, he's got his cheek lifted up a little bit. Like, I don't know how to lift my cheek up to show you. But he's got this funny look on his face, so we're gonna cut that out with another circle cutter. For his eyebrows, there was no way I was freehanding this. Those are difficult shapes. So I printed out a template for myself and then carefully cut those out. Now Lloyd has a very big frown line on his face, so we're gonna have to create that with some fondant because Garmadon, his dad, has been going around leveling cities and making them all upset, so you know, he's stressed. And for Lloyd's ninja symbol, which of course had to be the most difficult of all the ninja symbols, I rolled out some gold colored fondant and again just used a template and very carefully cut out the shape. And then to make it really shine, I just wet it with a little bit of gel paste and then just dust it with some edible gold dust. I wet the back and carefully placed that on my cake. Thankfully, that's it. Lloyd, Lego Ninja is completely done. I don't know much about Lego Ninjas, but this Lego Ninja cake looks pretty cool. If you guys like this video and want to see more like it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you guys haven't subscribed, man, there's a floating head right over here that you guys can click and subscribe. You know, help us reach 1 million subscribers. That would be cool. If you guys want to see some more of our videos, I will leave links over here that you guys can check out. And don't forget to come back here again next week because we will be making something else into cake. Bye, guys.